Well, it's a Tuesday night, Knife Nuts, and I'm feeling a little traditional, so I think it's time for episode 8.0 of our Traditional Knives Anthology, brought to you by me and Steve from Howabouthetruth. We're going to talk about the GEC number 56 reverse dogleg jack. Stay tuned, my friend. Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of Tuesday, traditional Tuesday, 26 August 2014. And in our 8th installment of the Traditional Knives Anthology, Steve and I are bringing to you this gorgeous little beauty. It is the Great Eastern Cutlery Titty-Ute trim in the number 56 reverse dogleg jack. And at first glance, I have to tell you, I thought, I don't think I really like that. To my eye, when I first picked it up and looked at it, it was kind of a goofy handle shape, kind of out of proportion, a little maybe stubby for its shape. You know, the dogleg curve doesn't really have time to mature, and then this sort of stubby handle shape, and I thought, it doesn't hit my eye right. And then I picked it up and fondled it and opened it and closed it and held it in some grips, and I began to understand rather quickly why Steve raves about this knife. So let's, as we usually do, let's start the video with a little reading material. Steve is rather brief in this biography that comes with the knife. So here's what Howabouthetruth has to say. The GEC Titty-Ute reverse dogleg jack. This is the number 561210 in antique weaved jigged bone. GEC made these knives mostly in the year 2010. Let's talk about that model number for a minute. 56 is the pattern number. 1 gives us main blade clip. 2 means there are 2 blades in the knife, and 10 means produced in the year 2010. So he goes on. There were 25 of this particular knife made with serial numbers. This one, by the way, number 19 of 25. And then an additional 49 were made in the same run without serial numbers, and there was 1 prototype. So that makes, 75 total knives, making it a pretty rare pattern. They had various other handles made also, and in the Northfield version as well. There were versions of this pattern made with a spear point master blade, but it was this wonderful clip point blade that has sold out. At 3.5 inches closed, it's a very pocket-friendly knife. What a sweet blade. And set at a great working angle. Let's see. How great is the working angle? Ooh. Look at the downturn in that clip point blade. great for working against a cutting board. The belly is going to hit the work board, leaving the tip a little bit elevated so that it won't wear quickly. Give us great slicing ability, good power through this area of the cut. And the brunt of the wear is going to happen in the belly, which is where you want it to happen. I'd say you're correct, Steve. The finger or the thumb rests nicely against the choil. Let's see what he's talking about there. There would be the finger. Oh, it sure does. See how that secondary blade is completely out of the way? Oh, man. Especially in for draw cuts or zipper cuts, as Steve likes to call them, like this. You know, if you were cutting twine or cordage of some kind, or even open and mail. The bone covers are extra thick to allow for the deep jigging. He is correct about that. Even the handle shape works well. Both the reverse dogleg and the dogleg patterns, dating back well into the 1800s, just about every cutlery company made them. I would love to see GEC make this exact same knife in a slightly larger version, but it's still a fabulous knife even in this size. I also have this knife in genuine stag, but this bone color and jigging is my favorite. Thanks, Rob, and God bless. The end. Enjoy. I told you he was brief on this one. Let's examine the tube for a moment. TDU Cutlery trademark. Good as gold. Celebrated pocket cutlery. Made of the the best American 1095 carbon steel by skilled craftsmen. And then GEC's address. We have no back sticker on this one. Just kind of let the knife do the talking by itself. I think this is some of GEC's best work for a non-special factory order. You got the gorgeous pinned bar shield. Tidioute. In normal Tidioute finishing on this knife, we have a satin blade, although we do have laser etching because it's a serialized run. But no lines on the bolsters, just smoothness and that wonderful deep weave jigging. It's just gorgeous. And as I said, I was not real warm to this knife until I actually picked it up, put it in hand. What a great everyday carry blade this is. And super pocketable at only 3.5 inches in overall length. That secondary pen blade is super narrow. You know, if you're the type who keeps the secondary pen blade in an EDC traditional knife super sharp and unmolested for field surgery, this number 56 might be your knife. A pretty slender point for a pen blade and able to get in extremely tight spaces, and I don't have to tell you guys how thinly this pen blade is ground. Of course, in unsharpened condition, as we usually see from Steve, this GEC knife, edge ready, as all of them are. Here's an interesting little factoid. GECs are sort of known for having half stops on their blades. Neither blade in this number 56 reverse dogleg jack has a half stop. So you just get to see and feel how smooth that action is all the way through its arc, and it's pretty darn good. Our cover to bolster fit is excellent. Not perfect. I do feel a little bit of bolsters but pretty darn good. Our back spring and edge fitment on the knife is perfection, as we have come to expect from GEC. Let's see how the ends of the back springs line up. Pretty good on the pivot end. And wow, they're wrapped quite a ways. Really, really good on the tip end. It's one thing I love about Great Eastern Cutlery. They really take the time to finish the insides of the back springs. I don't know if you guys can see too well in there, but they're ground and polished on the inside, which enables them to terminate them in pretty straight lines generally. And lots of your less expensive traditionals, you just have a raw stamped edge on the inside of your springs. That's why I've come to really love Great Eastern Cutlery, and my love for case knives has really sort of waned as I've started to collect and use these beauties from Pennsylvania. This knife is one of the reasons I love doing this series with Steve, because if I'd have seen it on CollectorKnives.net or Knives Ship Free or Northwest Knife Company and looked at the dimensions, I would have thought, yeah, probably not going to buy that one. But having a chance to get it in hand, use it, put it in front of the camera, it might not be the most striking of traditional knives, but it certainly is a user. And you guys know me well enough to know that if it's not a knife that I like to use and carry, it's not one that sticks around very long in my collection. These are still available with that spear blade. And I'm sure this won't be the last run. You guys might want to check one out for yourselves. That is all for episode 8. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in once again. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.